Hello, and welcome back to Entrepreneur Money Stories. Today, I have my guest, Bridget, on the show. In 2020, Bridget quit her job in New York City, making $50,000 a year to travel the world and built $1 million movement. 2 years later, she started making $50K a month, was hosting retreats around the world, and scaled her business to $1 million. Listen to this episode to learn all of Bridget's wisdom. She drops some serious truth bombs on here and tons of actions. When you're done, you can go to Instagram/Bridget James Ling to send her a DM. All right, here is my conversation with Bridget. Bridget, welcome to Entrepreneur Money Stories.
Danielle, I'm so pumped.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to hearing your story. Can you start with telling the audience a little bit about what your mission in the world is today?
Oh my God. So Freedom Queen is all about building $1 million movement. And so I started off really helping people build coaching businesses. But in the last year, I've really stepped into helping women build $1 million movements using organic social media.
All right. So tell me about the bigger mission behind making that change, because that's a pretty big shift. So why did you make that shift and what really inspired you to do that?
When I first started, I realized that I was building Freedom Queen from a little bit of a different space. I realized that I was building it from this space of this is less about transaction and more about bringing people into a community or a movement where we're all sharing the same vision and we're taking action together. So it's less about Bridget and more about Freedom Queen. So it's a community of people together that like they have the stage, they have the mic, other people lead things, they speak. And I'm like obviously the face of Freedom Queen, but it's not about me, it's about us and what we're doing. And I realized that from the beginning of my business, I had been building this way, and other people were kind of just like selling themselves, and that required them to always be on, and it required the business like it wouldn't run without them. Now, like I'm always on, like I love it, and so it's just like to me, building a movement, you're building something that's bigger than just a transaction-based business that always requires you to be available.
I am so passionate about that. We have definitely used that concept in Kickstart Accounting Inc. because I really wanted to be intentional with I did not have to be the face of every single client, every single transaction, every single marketing initiative, that it was really about the bigger concept of what Kickstart Accounting does and why we show up every day, right? Like I was telling you before we hit record, we use bookkeeping as a vehicle to help women business owners really step into their power as entrepreneurs, right? Like become better CEOs, stop leading their business from a place of practitioner and really make empowered business decisions. So with that being said, what was your like deeper mission behind making that change? Like did something happen to you personally that you were like, this needs to be more about the community than me?
I'm a big God girl. And so for me, I just have a lot of faith and believe in that this is like no matter what you're selling, whether you're selling bookkeeping, business coaching, mindset coaching, I think that what we're actually doing is waking up the world. And what we're really selling is wake up and realize that you can do anything, no matter what niche you're in. And I realized like in order to really build something that is massive and sustainable too, it's going to have to be bigger than just let me sell this thing. And so I have always just led from this place of I believe that what you and I are doing and anyone listening to this is bigger than just post some stuff on the internet, get clients, make money and do it again. I think that what we have is a vehicle for ultimately waking up the world and providing mass transformation. And so it's like some people really understand that. And then some people are like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking the deeper level question, because I want people to really, really understand that it's mission driven, right? Like it's not a transaction. It really comes from a place of a bigger mission to really help with transformation. So how specifically do you work with your community?
Okay, so we have three main offers. In terms of structure, we have one low ticket membership. Low ticket membership, it's the Make Money membership. And in there, that's like the strategy. Here's what to do in order to sign on clients and make money. The next level tier in our program is called the headquarters. The headquarters is where we go into your strategy, but it's more customized. So I'm in there helping you with your offer creation, the strategy for sales, content creation. It's very strategy based. Then we have our highest tier, which is the $1 million movements. And those are for people that really see themselves building something so much bigger and beyond than just, let me sell this course or this program, which is amazing, but they see themselves doing something more where they're casting a vision for people. So we kind of like help everyone at every stage that they're at inside of their business, whether they're just starting out and they're like, I need to make $5,000 this month and I have no idea what to even post on Instagram, all the way up to, I want to start making $50,000 a month. Who do I need to be? And what vision do I need to cast? And how do I create this community?
All right. So you're doing more of the how do I create the vision, not the actual specific tasks or implementing it for them. Is that correct?
You mean in the upper tier, the highest tier program?
Yeah.
We do both. So we do both strategy behind how to sell and create a recurring product suite, and then also how to lead and embody and be someone that can actually lead a movement of people where you're becoming a big industry leader. People are starting to know you online for what you do.
So tell me why you do both, right? Because I think that I've interviewed a lot of business owners in the last 9 years of working with clients at Kickstart. We've worked with so many business owners, and I think I know the answer, but I want the audience to hear it. Why do you encapsulate in both, right? Like, why don't you just go in and do it for somebody? Why do you really want them to step into their power alongside?
Well, you have to do it for yourself. I think I have a huge background in education, and just from development standpoint, when you're learning how to do something, you learn so much faster if you do it yourself. And yes, you hire support and you get the guidance that you need from other people, but ultimately if you do it, you learn faster because you learn the problems, mistakes, you learn what to do and what not to do. And people just take massive ownership over it. It's like, if you achieve it, you're going to be so much more proud of yourself versus your mentor trying to handhold. And I'll be the first one to say, when I first started, I did try and handhold people. I did try and do it for them, which it massively backfired because I so deeply wanted them to succeed. But I realized by handholding people and trying to do it for them, they weren't actually getting as many results as I wanted to. And when I let go of that and said, the power is in your hands, I'm going to give you the strategy and the energetic leadership behind it, people skyrocketed in the programs.
So for somebody who's listening right now, what is something that they can start to do, right? If they are not at a place where they can work with somebody like you yet, what's something that they can start doing right now to embody this?
Yes. Okay. Everyone says, like, what would you do if you start all over? Content. Content is the only thing that matters. I mean, really, in any business that you're building, which is traffic. If you do not have traffic, you do not have anything to sell. It doesn't even matter. They're like, don't even create the offer because it doesn't matter. And a lot of people spend like so much time making the offer. No, you're not. You're actually self-sabotaging, delaying your success. Start with the content, because the more that your voice is out there, that's actually where the clarity comes in. When you're making content like that, that's just where you find out who you're for, who you're not for, and what you actually want to be selling.
When you say content, give somebody specifics. I think it took me a long time to find my voice. I kept on in the beginning, I kept on trying to like write a blog and you know what I mean? And write the social media. I'm not a writer. And so for me, every single time I sat down to do air quote content, I wanted to like pluck my eyeballs out. Like it was the worst thing in the world. And when I found podcasting, I was like, oh, I fell in love, right? Like I want to speak and I want to speak to people. And so that has become my vehicle. But when you say content, what do you mean by that?
Okay. I teach Instagram organic content primarily, and then TikTok as well. Instagram content, I look at it into three main categories. One is your story, your brand story, your origin story that positions you as the authority. That's one bucket. Second bucket I look at is educational, value-driven content. That's the content that's like, if I like owned a bookkeeping company, I would say like, here's how to do your books in Q4. Like very basic, value driven, they're going to save this post. And the last piece is standout activational content. This is the type of content where only you can say that. What is something that you believe in your business that no one else believes? And these 3 posts, they operate as a sales page. Your feed becomes a sales page. We have not done a sales call in over a year and have done $1 million just in the DMs. People don't recognize that their feed operates as their sales page, and they would have a lot more sales coming in if they went through those 3 different pillars that I just gave.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for being so specific. I really appreciate that. I think it's really hard when it comes to this task to get really confused, and there's so much to do and so many platforms that you could be using. So understanding very specifically, how did you choose Instagram and TikTok as the platforms that you capitalize on?
Instagram, well, first of all, I was awful at Instagram.
Okay. All right. Thank you for saying that, because there's some of us that are like deathly scared of Instagram and we're afraid of being awful. So
oh my God, I was terrible, like really, really bad. And that's just like, it's just a skill set. Anyone can learn how to do it. Like, I think people attach their worthiness to like, oh, I'm never going to be good at social media. It's like, you just got to do more reps. And some people don't need to do as many reps as I did, but it started from there. So Instagram primarily, because that's where most of my ideal clients are. Not so much on Facebook, not on LinkedIn, starting to reach a little bit more YouTube audience now. But in the beginning, I knew, okay, my people are on Instagram because they're doing organic marketing. Then TikTok, I started on TikTok mostly last year and just blew up over there because TikTok is an amazing lead generation platform. So the way that we specifically leverage the 2 platforms is TikTok we use to sell our low ticket membership and free offerings. That's all we sell. Membership, free webinar. That's it. Instagram we use for our high ticket, private coaching, retreats, conferences, masterminds, anything that's on the higher end. And so it's really beautiful and makes it so clear. One platform does low ticket, one platform does high ticket.
again, thank you for being very specific. I think what my takeaway, and tell me if I'm right on this, know who your ideal client is. So I think it's really easy for us as business owners to want to do all the things. So get very, very specific. Who is your ideal client? Where are they hanging out? And then really set specific parameters for yourself of how you're going to use each platform. What if you don't know yet? Like, what if you don't know if TikTok works for your business or not? Like, how did you explore that? Like, what did you use to just even see if it was going to work or not?
Well, I was afraid of TikTok. I thought I wasn't young enough for TikTok. And I'm 28. So like, I thought I'm not going to be good on TikTok. And so I just went on Instagram and I did build my business to like 350,000 before I even opened up TikTok. And so I think just having self-awareness and knowing like if you're a mom or you're really busy and you work full time, like knowing your capacity to be able to say, can I go on all these platforms? Do I need to be on all of them just because Sally down the block's on all of them? No. You can make a lot of money and serve a lot of people on one. But with TikTok specifically, I wanted another area to market on. And TikTok, I started seeing relatively quick success because it's very easy to go viral there. And it started bringing in all this new traffic for me. And so I noticed there was like a gap in the market. A lot of people weren't doing business coaching on TikTok at the time. A lot of business coaches thought it was a joke. They thought it was just a dancing platform. And then I got over there and I was like, hey, everybody, Bridget's in the house. And also what was really fun is that TikTok's a crazy platform. So on TikTok, I can be buck wild Bridge and be like, hey, everybody, how you doing? Like, let's make some money. And then on Instagram, I can be like, hi, I'm Bridget. Welcome to Instagram. And so I think it's really nice from a sales perspective.
Two personas.
Yes, it's my Gemini side. It's like, that I think from a sales perspective, it's really nice because it allows people to see a different side of you that maybe they won't buy from Instagram because you're one way because the way that the platform is. But on TikTok, if you show a little bit of different side of your personality, someone likes you over there more, they come into your business.
Okay. I like that. Have you heard yourself saying, I'm scared to invest money in my business because what if it doesn't come back? I don't know how much to pay myself, so I won't take a paycheck yet. I'm reinvesting in the business anyway. Or how about I'm not going to spend any more money until I know exactly where my money is going. Well, let me tell you, you are not alone. In fact, we have heard all of these stories and more throughout the last 9 years at Kickstart Accounting Inc. And that is why we have created the Money Mindset Mastery Framework to finally unlock and overcome these stories, to finally feel confident in your financial decisions and pay yourself what you deserve. The first step to create a profitable and successful business is to first understand your money mindset. Find out your money mindset personality type by going to kickstartaccountinginc.com/quiz. I can't wait to hear what your money mindset type is. Let's talk about the mindset piece a little bit. I saw in some of your posts, you talked about not feeling qualified, right? As people come into your program, what are some of the mindset shifts that you see for them to be able to step into their power and to be able to show up? Like, what actions can somebody who's listening take right now to start to work on their mindset so that they can step into this?
Well, definitely action. I think a lot of times we feel qualified because we're not qualified. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's like, I did not feel qualified in the beginning to be in a room with people making so much money until I started like realizing, oh, I can actually do this and started making money. And then you feel qualified. I just made a post on this saying, I didn't feel qualified to host my first retreat because I literally wasn't qualified. Now that I've hosted tons of retreats, I feel qualified. It's like I've done the thing. And so it's okay, but that's okay. Like it's okay to be a beginner. It's okay to not be qualified. And it's okay to just like own that and then take the action to become someone that is quote unquote qualified at whatever that means for you. And then internally, one of the biggest switches I've seen in my mastermind clients, just everyone inside of Freedom Queen, is that first of all, action takers are money makers. Like you take action, you're going to make money.
If you want something done, give it to a busy person.
Yes. That's why I say moms are the best business owners because they know how to get things done.
So true.
But I think really realizing that there's no secret. I think a lot of people believe that there's a secret. Like, oh, Bridget knows something. Danielle knows something that I don't know. But you're literally giving them the plate and saying, this is exactly what to do with your books. Do this. And if you just do it, it will work over time.
Yeah. Well, I think we're all waiting for the Hollywood moment. I think that this is something that I've realized a little bit more over the last year. I took my kids to Italy over the summer, and my daughter shared with me on the way back that she's 18, going into the next chapter of her life this year. And she's like, I was waiting for that moment where I would know exactly what to do with the rest of my life. Or, you know what I mean? Like that I knew exactly where to go and what to do. And there's no movie star moments, right? That wasn't going to happen for her on that trip. And it's not going to happen when you post one Instagram post. It's not going to happen when you host one retreat. It's not going to happen when you look at your numbers one time. And it might not ever be like this moment where like, you're having a party and it feels good. It's like it happens so slow that just you become this expert slowly over time. What are your thoughts on that?
I totally like 100% get that. I was in Italy this summer with my mom too. It's so funny that you said that. I love that Hollywood moment because you think when you arrive, it's going to be like, oh, I'm here. It's amazing. And it's like when earlier this year, I realized we hit $1 million and I was like happy, but I was like, okay, well, good job.
Yeah, like nothing changed.
Yeah, you're still here.
Yeah, like tomorrow you still have to wake up and work just as hard, I think we feel that way when we hit 600 or when we hit 100,000. We feel that way when we hit 1 million. So these moments are just slow over time. So I just think that there's something really impactful there. Tell me a little bit about how you keep your money mindset strong. So as a growing business owner, right? So you hit 7 figures. So what did you do to help your money mindset over the last few years to help get you to $1 million? Because what worked at 6 figures doesn't work at 7 figures. So what can people start to strive for? What worked for you?
Okay, well, when I first started my business, I was living in New York City and I had a ton of student loan debt and New York City rent. I was not doing well. And I didn't have a lot of cash flow coming in. So as soon as I started the business, I focused on cash flow. And a lot of people focus on everything else that doesn't bring in cash. You don't have a business unless it's making money. And so that really is what helped me get to six figures in a short amount of time. Is I primarily focus on those income producing activities in my business. I'm always looking at what is the excess? What are the things that are waste of my time, happiness, peace, and energy that aren't bringing in income, and just double down on the ones that are working. And
Can I ask you, what
yeah,
did you get rid of? Because I think we hear that all the time, and it's
yeah,
like those soft things. What did you get rid of? What did you stop doing?
Pinterest.
Thank you. Thank you for like a very clear like answer, because and maybe Pinterest works for somebody and Instagram doesn't work for them, right? Like knowing that you have permission to stop doing something, and like you clearly, I'm assuming you looked at the numbers to make that decision. Like how did you make that decision?
We tested it. I had an assistant doing it for 8 months, 8 to 9 months. Strategy, implementing the same strategy and tweaking over time. No ROI. TikTok, at the same time, tracking those numbers, TikTok's bringing in on its own $30,000 a month right from the beginning, and continues to bring in that income over a long period of time. And I just said, this is a waste of our time. If we focus more on this platform, that will work. And it did.
That's great. Thank you.
And there's other things too, but that was, a good one.
Yeah. Okay. I interrupted you. What other mindset shift? Let's focus on cash. Stop doing the things that don't work. We don't have to keep doing them just because of ego or our competitors doing them. Like look at the numbers. Stop doing what doesn't work. What else?
Another thing is I only invest in, number one, my housing, because I travel the world and I work from home. So my housing has to be good. Second thing, health. Health has to be on point. Health is wealth. Third thing is I'm also investing in assets. So the business brings in cash flow, but that's not going to bring in, it will bring in cash flow for a very long time, but let's make the money make more money. So I'm constantly learning about like the stock market and getting into real estate and learning how to make the money make more money. That was a big thing over the last 2 years. And investing in myself, like skill set. Education, learning, hiring a team. Like I hired you and your team, which has been a huge game changer for us this year. But even before that, like I was learning investment courses, and that helped me pay off all my student loan debt a couple years ago. I say that because I have great margins and a lot of overflow, meaning I'm able to travel and do all of these things. I don't spend a lot of money on like materialistic things. Every now and again, I'll get like a nice necklace or something nice for my family, but it's primarily poured back into the business, but also creating a long-term strategy so that we have money that's making more money for us. And that's been a big shift for us in the last year.
Yeah, I appreciate you giving that caveat to it, because one thing that we've heard from a lot of business owners is I'm going to keep investing in the business. And it's really a scare tactic, right? They're really just scared to take any money out, and they're scared of the money. So they just keep on spending money within the business so that they don't have to do anything with it, right?
Yeah. That to me is like, you should have enough money to be able to invest back into the business, but also money left over to help that money, to make that money make more money for you. Like,
yeah. I think the biggest example is to pay yourself to take the money out of your business. And then once you've removed the money from your business, and it can live in a very different space by investing in the stock market, investing in the real estate, building true wealth for yourself and your family, but not just keeping it in the business and reinvesting in the business because you're scared. And I think that somebody called me out recently, and I appreciate them doing it. I'm not perfect, but they said, did you not do that because you didn't have time? Or was I don't have enough time really a mask for I don't know how, and I'm choosing not to learn how? I mean, when they said that to me, I was like, mic drop. Do I really not have the time? Or was I scared to go and learn that task and get the skill set? And I'm not saying go learn how to do your bookkeeping or right. Like I'm talking bigger tasks. Like, is it a skill set gap? Like, do you as a business owner need to reinvest in yourself?
something that just came up around there is team. I've had a very slim team since day one. And some people have like hated on me for it because they have a big team. Okay. But a lot of people I see teaching Make Money Online hire teams out the wazoo and then are breaking even every month. And I really embody, and I teach this in Freedom Queen, simple scales, complex fails. I have one assistant and everything on our back end is very streamlined. I just think that a lot of people, and I did it in the beginning. I hired an assistant way too early and then let her go very quickly because I realized it was coming from a place of ego. And I think a lot of people hire to make themselves feel like they're a bigger business than they actually are, rather than focusing on cash flow and simplifying the systems first. And I did all my books for almost 3 years before I met you, and was at a place where I knew, okay, I need to hire a team now because the way that we're scaling, I need support.
Yeah. Yeah. Tell me a little bit about how you decided that you hired too fast and you let go of that assistant. Because normally I say nobody has ever said to me, I think you are definitely the first person I've heard say that they hired too soon. Most people say that they waited too long. So tell me about that experience. What happened there?
I started making $10,000 a month and I was like, I've made it. I need an assistant. And then I hired this assistant and I was like, you're going to assist me. And I didn't know what that meant. And I had all of these systems.
You're going to assist me.
Yeah. I'm like, answer the email. I had no emails to be answered. Like there was nothing. There was nothing there. And what I realized is that actually the very few things that I needed her to do could just be automated and systematized. And if I just had an SOP for everything, it would be so much easier. And so then for a long, like almost a year, I just did it all. And it was fine. And I systematized it. And it really gave me the skill set to fully understand the business too. I know the ins and outs of it.
Yeah, I love that. So what's next for you? What's next for your business? And how will you continue to keep your money mindset strong? Once you've hit 7 figures, right, it takes a different approach to your money mindset. So how will you change your money mindset as you continue to grow?
The next thing is expanding the reach. So we have our membership. My next goal is getting like multi 5-figure amounts of people inside of it, like 10,000 people inside of the membership. That's the way I see it expanding with ads too. We're starting to step into that realm as well, since we have a good organic following. And then we're doing some conferences. We have our Freedom Queen Live conference next year. So that's going to be big, increasing our capacity, dropping some more coursework and things like that. And then in terms of money mindset, the next vision is scaling to 10 million. And so I think one of the biggest things is just cleaning things up right now. We're looking to buy property in Costa Rica next month. And so I'm just looking at all of my assets, like making sure that everything is cleaned up in terms of business structure, ready to go so that we can take it to 10 million. And that's something I'm working on with your team right now, is taxes and everything like that, cleaning up the behind the scenes so that the foundation is strong before we go bigger.
It's like building a house on a swamp. We have to understand that we have the core in place. I live in the Midwest, so we have basements. So I'm always like, build your basement first. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. Is there anything that I haven't asked you today that you wish I would have?
I think no, like just the biggest thing is action takers are money makers. And I'm so grateful for your team and everything that you've done. I think we've only been working together, like it hasn't even been that long. And I'm already blown away by the team and your work. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you for saying that. Where can our audience learn more about you, stay in touch, and work with you?
The best place is Bridget James Ling on Instagram, and just go like binge all of the content, go implement it, take action, get results on your own. And if you like it, come back and join our membership.
Awesome. I love that. Go take action first, get some results, and then we'll be here waiting for you. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Danielle.
All right. I told you Bridget had some serious wisdom and action that we can all implement right away. I love how Bridget really focused on cash and profit in her business to determine what activities she was going to focus on. We leave the ego at the door and we focus on what is actually working. We don't let our ego drive our activities. We let the cash tell us what's working and what's not working. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you want to receive the same level of services to help your money mindset like Bridget is receiving in her business, would you go to kickstartedcountyinc.com and book a call? We have had the opportunity to work with Bridget and help her, most importantly, take this task off of her plate so that she then has the time and energy to really focus on cash and take those clarity breaks to ask herself what's working and what's not working. So if you need that same level of service, again, go to kickstartedcountyinc.com and book a call. We would love to be a resource for you and your business. All right, we'll see you next week.